Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your June 2023 reading. So, I meditated on your energy and what Spirit wanted to talk to you about this month. Here we have the Sun, the Five of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Cup in reverse with the Wheel of Fortune, and the Sun. All right. If you look at that together, first of all, as soon as we have the Sun, that means that there's this clarity. It's obvious out there. It's talking about your expansion. And being Aquarius, you rule the 11th house, and right in front is the 5th house, which is ruled by the Sun. Self-expression. Children, that, solar plexus expansion of yourself. There's kind of a flagrant consciousness, realization of a loss or a lack of, or something that where you invested in emotionally that did not give what it was supposed to give. There's a Page of Cup in reverse here. So it's like there might be the appearance of an offer of cup, but it's not quite there. The Wheel of Fortune is in reverse, and that is when clearly the Sun is there to show you why the Wheel of Fortune is not turning for you. You're going to get the clarity about that. And it has to do with your waters. After we have the Three of Swords. So the consciousness of what are the beliefs that kind of created that. Three of Swords are disappointments and things like that. Okay. And the third card is the Two of Cups in reverse. So for a lot of you Aquariuses, you're going to kind of see maybe friends, connections, lover, that is not what you thought was. And it's kind of going to explain why things weren't growing. Okay? Under all of that, I have the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. And then the Hermit. The Hermit part is the part that is kind of showing you that inner light, that wisdom, intelligence, earthly intelligence, okay, of how things work here, is kind of showing this to you. And so it's a realization that maybe you didn't want to see because you were holding on to it. Things you were holding on to. And that's kind of, I see how this is not balanced, not what I thought it was. During the month, I understand the beliefs that were associated with that. I have the King of Cups in reverse, because of course this is all a kind of a emotional ungroundedness, okay? And we will have the full moon in Sagittarius, which actually shows clearly things in our beliefs that maybe are unbalanced, that need to be healed, and that maybe weren't conscious. And with this, I have the Chariot and Strength. So where I wasn't able to grow, to continue my prosperity, to walk towards what is aligned with me, because of these, it can be an old trauma of a connection here, coming up to the surface, being obvious, where I understand where all of this was kind of the source of old anxiety that is now leaving, because I'm finally coming back from it. acknowledging myself. And this is what is going to give me access to an Ace of Cup, what I need. So it's like if it's bringing to the surface, that thing we never let go of, a misconnect, of a sadness that kind of was the reason for us not being able to be completely grounded in our self-love and emotional security here, preventing us from moving forward in our connections and what we love and all of that. There's like this old grain of salt or sand in the engrenage of our lives here that is finally going to have the opportunity to be pushed away. Okay, let's clarify this. I call upon the divine. I call upon the light. I call upon the Holy Spirit. Help me clarify this reading for Aquarius for the month of June 2023. Okay, Spirit. 5 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune and Page of Cup in reverse, and the Sun. We have the King of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Swords. See, that Sun brings you one heck of a clarity. You come in the month with this, okay, or right at the beginning. Could be the full moon that is going to show it to you. It's with the King of Wands in reverse. And the King of Wands is like, somebody that either does not make any efforts, is not trying, or is only doing things for himself. But it's not for you, towards you. If we're talking about love, love is a giving energy, okay? When we love something, someone, we want it to grow, to expand, to be amazing. So we are actually pouring energy into the other. That's why it's important to love ourselves also, so that the pouring of energy, of our energy, is balanced between us and the other. If we don't love ourselves, we're going to empty ourselves in the other. And usually things are mirrored in a way where we will attract people that do not make any efforts towards us, but that will expect every efforts towards them. Okay? We have a King of Wands in reverse. Usually becomes kind of a narcissist. So you might have waited for a loving gesture of this type of archetype, let's say, of how people act. The kings are how we act, how people act, okay? So it can be man or woman, but it's the way they act out there. So here, there's the Wheel of Fortune is there, so that means, she just needs that understanding so that I can start moving and change the why are they always like this. Three of Swords. So I'm going to see the belief that kind of came from that first thing. And I'm finally going to heal. There's the Sagittarius moon. There's the, I'm seeing the big picture here. And if you're looking, you see that the angel has the sun symbol on its forehead. It is brewing the old waters because finally it sees clearly. So it can release, and here I would say like old karmic thing where you invested or you had like a long period of this, okay? You could have even inherited it from your mother, your father, and so on, okay? And it made you juggle. So that means the emotions were never really stable. They were up and down, and I'm just trying to make it here. And I'm trying to balance something where my whole worth and value and what I've built, for some of you it's something you've invested for years, but now you're seeing clearly. A lot of you it's family linked, and now you're seeing clearly, oh my God, that was the connection. That was what the other was showing me from my inner vibration. And when it's like that, we can't even grow from it. Okay? It's like a misconnection. Let's look at that Two of Cups in reverse. And that used to be the source of a lot of anxiety. Okay? So, it's a realization tower that is going to crumble to allow judgment. Okay? Now it's in reverse because to make a judgment, a good judgment, you got to acknowledge yourself and come back from it. When you're in it, you know, when these parts of you come from the bottom of the sea to be addressed, and they are crying about what they've never had. Let's say if it's something they've always hoped to receive, a gesture of love, of compassion, of peace and grace and whatnot that the Page of Cups can represent, and they never had it, they're going to look at their loss all the time. And then, of course, part of their reality will be, I don't get that. And they will have built 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of, I'm juggling to try and get that same damn cup from somebody that never made an effort towards me. And now it's clear. And that way of connecting with others has to crumble. I have to be conscious about it. And when I say it's going to open up the space for judgment, it's because when we are not ready for the judgment, when we haven't acknowledged ourselves in there and realize, whoa, that doesn't make sense. If I haven't acknowledged myself, when this part is going to come up with its loss, I'm just going to cry with it and say, see how our life is just that, and that's what we deserve. But when I came back from it, I'm going to be able to tell that part, I know you're crying, I see where it's coming from, but oh boy, we're not there anymore. Come with me. And that will be a true healing. And it is going to affect every other connection that you're going to have in the future. Let's look at the Four of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like trying to hold on to something. Yeah. Ace of Swords. You get it. And now you can heal. The Sun gives you that clarity that's going to allow you to finally change things. Because you were holding on to this. Yes, one day that reverse King of Wands is going to give me a cup. Even if he's not able to. Okay? King of, not reverse King of Cups, you have it too, but reverse King of Wands. And these two together, if you ever fall on somebody like that, is not only narcissist, but he will be emotionally manipulative. And if you experience that early on in your life, you will have the same incapacities towards yourself. So you will be cruel with yourself. You will not have emotional compassion, empathy, or understanding for yourself. You will not make efforts for yourself. You will not follow your own desires, wishes, and wants, but you will try to fulfill others in order to get that so needed gesture of love that you're not willing to give to yourself. And that creates a pattern. So I'm talking to the ones of you that actually had that, and that prevented their growth in worth and value. You get the clarity on it. Oh my God, it's like looking at the whole pattern. And once we see the whole pattern, of course, of these kinds of misconnections where they will never be able to give you a cup. Okay? It's like hoping for a hug from somebody with no arms. Then once you see it, it's gonna crumble completely. Oh my God, I'm not doing this anymore. I see exactly why it created a whole empire that wasn't so great. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And you're probably going to bring down the tower yourself on those misconnections. Hermit. The people around you that are not balanced. 6 of Pentacles. This is when we are able to invest in others and be invested in without thinking we owe anything or we have to compensate in order to receive. Or it's like if, oh my God, this is so unbalanced. I wouldn't be surprised if next month, Aquarius, you're making this kind of cleaning. Or some of you right this month also, a cleaning in the connections that are not balanced. And it's not just a question of, throwing them away, because it's useless to cut a relationship because we notice it's unbalanced if we haven't yet acknowledged ourselves and therefore be able to create balanced relationships in the future. So because we would just clear them up to be replaced by other more subtle but same distortions ones. Let's look at that King of Cups. King of Cups in reverse, we have the 5 of Swords. We have the 3 of Swords, but in reverse with the Queen of Wands in reverse. And who are you? Strength. Oh, strength is, you're going to be extremely strong because I have strength right there again under. So strength, that means when you look at strength, you see this lady in her higher self, okay, connected to the universe, understanding how the universe works, okay, that infinite loop of manifestation, creation from these two opposites, okay, feminine, masculine, invisible, visible, and it is constantly flowing in one another. But from our higher self, we have the capacity to influence what is, from the invisible going to influence the visible. Your higher self is conscious of that. That's why it's over her head, like for the magician. She's taking that lion that learned and was hurt by this, became part of its education, its programming. He's learned to react and deal with this. So she's taking the lion and she's saying, oh, I know better now. I see better now. Of course, I want to react like this and go fall and cry with those parts of me that are still hurting after years when they come to the surface. But I'm going to be stronger than my programming, stronger than my pain and my losses, so that I can act upon it. Queen of Wands, King of Wands in reverse. So we're talking about distorted desires outside of us, never being satisfied, people never being satisfied, and all of that created so many heartaches within ourselves. And us never being satisfied with us. And at one point, not even knowing what we desire and what we want either, you know? It's all part of it. And the Five of Swords is using those 3 swords. He's got 3 swords in his hand. Using those 3 swords, those old sadnesses and things like that, to kind of win over us. See? There's the proof that nobody really cares. There's the proof that it's all for them or not, and everybody's the same. So, of course I'm hurting myself. Of course I'm putting a dark shadow of clouds over everything. So rising above that is rising the lion that wants to use your experiences. And of course you have to have compassion for that lion, because he's trying to protect you. If I hurt you, if I hurt parts of you before you put yourself out there and be disappointed, then maybe we won't hurt as much. So I'm going to keep those files of all the times that I was hoping for a cup and didn't get it, so that it's fresh in your mind and that you react according to this. This is what is stopping for you, Aquarius. All right. And so here, being in this is going to allow you, here we have the Ace of Pentacles and the High Priestess. They're in reverse because it's the process. I think to reverse her, to put her upright, we need to go through our little tower to remove the crap so that we can have access to the Ace of Pentacles. Because to have access to that Ace of Pentacles, you need to be in a garden, in a living, pure garden. Nothing grows there. So once I see it, once I can hear my soul about it, then I get an Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles and an Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is already there for you. We see it. Here with that tower, anxiety, deep old fears of abandonment, fears because here under the tower we had this, the tower and the Two of Cups. Fears of abandonment, of not being enough, of sacrifice, of being not received, welcomed, of thinking that there's something missing and we have to compensate. All of this is slowly going to fall away. This is so that you can start investing in you, or even seeing fruits of your labor, of the energy you put out there. So the Six of Wands, this is like, oh my God, this period is done, and I've graduated. Here is the world. I understand the lesson of it, and I'm done with it. I come back from that war. I'm healed. And I am emotionally in charge of being able to allow a true cup in. Queen of Cups. Now I'm not blocking it or looking for it where there's no water. I'm actually going to master the availability or the access to water. So it's a beautiful healing, but it's one heck of a readjustment of an old wound that was caused by distorted souls around you that could only act in the way that they knew. We know that, but that for you, it really set a pattern that this month you're going to be able to see clearly who they are, and then being able to heal from it. So I'm going to entitle this Seeing Clearly Connections, okay? Or because next month you're going to judge them. After the tower's done, oh, I'm not building my relationships this way anymore. Whew. Now I'm going to be clearing. Next month you're going to be clearing some people. That's obvious. But this month you're going to see them clearly. So, my beautiful Aquarius, I'm sending you all my love and light. And thank you. If you want a private reading, of course, there's the website just below the video. You go there and it's all user-friendly and easy. And thank you for watching, sharing, commenting. And please subscribe to help grow the channel. And don't forget, we have the summer solstice this month. And that is, with starting with the sun like this, that is a great time for you to kind of, okay, I am ready to expand in strong love, connection, whether it is with friends, lover, co-worker, the universe, nature. I'm ready to receive love, to be welcomed and part of this world. And that is going to be a beautiful gift. So, on this, namaste, and I'll see you next month.